Hey guys, Character97 again, this time with a review of the 144th scale high-grade Cosmic Era Aile Strike Gundam from the Gundam Seed series. And when we compare him to the old Aile Striker here, yeah, I think we might already conclude this review. And especially when you consider that the new one here is 1,300 yen and the old one is 1,200 yen, I think the fate of the old one is already sealed. But let's still see what goodies we get for that 100 yen extra. So for colors, we get the usual Gundam colors, a lot of white, we have blue, red, and then this time the V-fin is actually molded in two colors, correct as it should be. We have yellow and white, then we have red here for the head jewel, red for the chin, and then unlike the remasters, we have now normal gray. And the gray is once again, as with all of the all Gundam Project model kits, it's that softer plastic which is really good for joints. And talking about gray, we can see that this time, of course, there is a lot more gray on the model suit. So straight out of the box, this model kit is going to look a hell of a lot better than the old one. And talking about looking better, let's have a talk about the stickers. As you can see, these are actually all the stickers we need to make it completely anime accurate. You're of course going to see the big ones here for the Aile Striker pack. So unfortunately, we'll still need these red stickers for the wings. And they're not really the greatest stickers either, because it doesn't seem like they're quite big enough. They're still going to leave a few small gaps here and there. You know, especially around the bottom, you can kind of see that they just don't quite reach. And well, it perhaps would have been a bit better if they kind of went over, if they went a bit further, so that you could then put this on here to prevent them from peeling off. Because I'm afraid that, you know, in a few days, this very small strip here is just going to peel up, and then you'll have to run over it again to flatten them again. However, some parts that require stickers on the old one this time do not require stickers. For example, these vents on here, and then when we bring out the shield, this is where things get really great. This time the yellow is actually molded in there, and we do get one sticker, the white one, which goes on here, and then we just get the usual, the eye stickers, then one for the front camera and one for the back camera. So just by colors alone, this new Aile Strike completely blows the old one out of the water. And now let's make that even worse when talking about articulation. The head goes up, down, rotates around all the way. We have a bit of chicken movement going on. One unfortunate thing is that once again, it seems like they forgot to kind of lock the neck into place. So the neck is still going to turn around individually as well. So that might be a bit annoying. You know, with some of the older all Gundam Project model kits, they had kind of bars next to it so that the neck itself couldn't rotate around. And that actually was better because you only need the head to be moving around. The neck, well, there's no real point to the neck moving around by itself. Then the arms are on ball joints, so they will wiggle around, go up quite far, and then the arm itself is going to go upwards that far. Then back down. Will go forwards on a hinge, and then when you move it forwards like this, it's just going to get that little bit extra going out there. Then we'll of course rotate around all the way, then rotates around below the shoulder, bends at the elbow at two joints, once again immensely increased, immensely better when compared to the old one. Hands are on ball joints, will wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. The waist is always on a double ball joint. We have one up here and then one at the bottom. Forwards about that far, backwards nicely like so. Then rotates around all the way. Front skirts molded together, but as always, they can be separated. So legs go very nicely forwards all the way, backwards about that far. Then side to side, until the side skirts pop off. So yeah, you'll get about that far, then it will also rotate around. And there we go. Then with this joint, they will go up and down, and that is of course to get just a bit more backwards movement. And when you compare it, it's not a lot, but it's at least something, so gotta give it that. And then they will bend at 2 joints, and that's some really good articulation at the knee there. Once again, much better than the old one. Then we have a double joint here. There's a hinge at the top and then ball joint at the bottom, and then this time the ankle guards are actually connected there on the side with a ball joint, so they will go up and down, somewhat side to side, and these might just be some of the best articulated ankle guards ever. So go forwards really, really far. That's something we usually only see from Zaku's or Jim's thanks to their flip-flop joint, but no, Strike is not about to be outdone, and backwards once again. Look at that. Unfortunately, no toe joint this time. Will rotate around all the way if you're careful, and then of course also side to side. And look at that. Just look at how far to the side that goes. So let's put that in perspective. He can actually do this pose while having his feet on the ground. This, you know, if this isn't flexibility, I don't know what is. That's some really fantastic articulation, and might, you know, actually I think this is probably one of the best articulated kits ever. If only those legs moved a bit further backwards. And things get only better when we look at the accessories. Starting off with the standard issue things we're getting, of course, the shield. And like I said before, this is already an immense improvement over the old shield, which is just a red and white slab. And at least this thing here is actually completely accurate. You just slide that on here. Goes onto both arms, and you do of course have 2 pegs, one for the side, one for the back. And then moving on with the weapons, here we have the beam rifle, and actually this is very similar to the old beam rifle. The big difference is that the newer one is slightly bigger and the scope has more detail. If you can kind of see that, well, it's just a bit more, it has more depth. That's really the big difference. The old scope is a bit flat and this just seems a bit deeper. So other than that, they do seem to be pretty much identical. The detailing is virtually the same. It's just a bit bigger on the newer one. And the most important thing is, how does it fit in the hand? Because, you know, that was somewhat of a problem with the older Seed kits, that, you know, they couldn't always quite hold their weapons as well. And no problem at all. And of course we have this movable handle here, and thanks to the great articulation of this new Strike, he'll of course have no problem at all getting in a pose where he's holding it with both hands. And this time he can pull up those poses really easy. He can even point it forwards while holding it with both hands, something that wasn't always quite as easy with the older one. And the best is yet to come. Here is the new and improved Aile Striker Pack. Gone are those immobile chicken wings, and here are some nice, large, and movable wings. I mean, that's the one thing that surprised me the most, that they actually included this storing, launching mode for those wings. That, I really wasn't expecting that. I would have been fine without it, but hey, they went just that extra mile and included that. So that's really awesome. And then a bit more mobility, of course, on the thrusters. So they go up and down and in and out a little bit. This is on a hinge, they're not on a ball joint. And then of course they connect to the Strike. And there we go. And that wingspan is so much better than the old Aile Striker pack. I mean, they're wider, they're longer, every single thing is better about them. And then two final quick notes about the Aile Striker pack is we have a hole here and a very odd hole there. Now, for whatever could that be? You know, of course, those are going to be for the Perfect Striker, because when we look at the Perfect Striker, we have this extra fin on top, so that's obviously what that hole is going to be for, and then the hole at the back is, of course, going to be for the extra energy packs. But more good news about the Perfect Strike after we talked about the two final accessories of the Aile Striker. Of course, we also get these beam sabers going to the hands, and they do seem to be rather loose. Seems to be the latest trend of mobile suits not being quite able to hold their beam sabers. But at least we get two very nice clear beams. And these are longer than the standard ones, but of course not quite as long as the master grades. And this is actually kind of the length I'd like for high grades. They're a bit longer, but you know, using those master grade beams is just a bit too long. Like for example, the real grade strike game with, those were just a bit overkill. And once again, yeah, you can see that they're a bit on the flimsy side and they're falling out. And it actually fell on the ground. Good, stay there, stupid beam sabers that won't fit into the hands. And I don't get it. How hard is it to make beam sabers that fit into the hands? They could do it for years and now they suddenly forgotten how to do that. It seems very weird to me. I mean, is it really that hard to make beam sabers that fit into the hands? But you know, gotta keep it real here. That is one small problem on a kit that is otherwise fantastic. Then the final accessories that come with this kit. What you're gonna do when you run out of phase shift armor? Use the armor Schneiders. Yes, we actually get them, but they're solid single pieces. Of course, they're not gonna store in the pouches, and the pouches don't even open up. But unlike the beam sabers, these actually fit into the hands perfectly, and you can shake it however you want, however hard you want, however long you want. They're not gonna come out, unlike those beam sabers. I mean, it just seems comic. Just like the Gym Sniper K9 couldn't hold the beam sabers, but you know, they can hold the knife. I mean, I guess it's kind of helpful that the knife is smaller, but the knife, once again, is just more solidly in there. You can just feel the knife is, you know, just much more snugly in the hand. It's not just because the beam sabers are longer and heavier and harder to hold. No, it's actually just a better design. And that's really the reason why I'm kind of so baffled by that. But enough about the beam sabers and the knives. Let's get rid of this. And of course, you know, we have a Strike Gundam with the ability to use Striker packs. So how can he use the other Striker packs that we can get from, for example, the Perfect Strike, the no grades? So let's have a look at the launcher first. And everything fits like a glove. And here I have used the shoulder unit and the cannon of the Perfect Strike, and then the backpack of the old no grade. However, if you want to, you can also just use the parts from the old no grade. The shoulder unit is going to fit just as well because, of course, it uses the exact same connection, and then the cannon, well, is the cannon that's supposed to go with the backpack, so that's going to work just as well. The only thing is, of course, is the no grade. It's not going to have the stickers. It's just going to look a bit greener, but overall it's still going to look really great. So you can either do like I did and combine the Perfect Strike with the no grade, or just go purely with the no grade, because you will always need the no grade for the backpack. Of course, unfortunately, the Perfect Strike didn't come with that backpack. Then moving on to the Sword Striker. And, okay, I'll stop snapping my fingers. The bad news here is that, unfortunately, you will need the Perfect Striker in order to have a full Sword Striker. And that is because the way the shoulder unit is put on with the old no grade. In the old no grade, you have to replace the entire shoulder armor with that from the no grade. And of course here, the shoulder armor is connected to the body with a ball joint. Whereas in the old no grade, the shoulder armor is connected to the shoulder, and then the shoulder is connected to the body. So that's not gonna work unless you're gonna do some extensive modding. And by that time, you're probably just better off buying that Perfect Strike. So you're gonna have to use the Perfect Strike for that shoulder armor, also for the shield, because this actually just pops into the shield connector you get with this strike. And then, well, you might as well use the sword of the Perfect Strike. And then all you gotta use from the no grade is this backpack, which once again fits like a glove. And I think I've done enough talking about the Perfect Strike, so let's just go ahead and show the Perfect Strike. And the best news about the Perfect Strike is, believe it or not, but this connector piece actually fits on the new Aile Striker pack. So you can choose to use either the pack that originally came with the Perfect Strike, or you can use this new Aile Striker pack. And when you look at everything, I think it's kind of obvious which one you want to use. And I know you might think that, hey, the wings here are a bit more to the back, so here they might not fit. Well, there might not be enough room for the Agni and the Schwertgewehr to fit on, but this actually fits perfectly. You're just not gonna have the energy packs on here or that extra fin. But I think that that is a loss worth taking if we can use that new fantastic Aile Striker pack. And I think this is really what would define the Perfect Strike. I mean, we've got the new body, we've got a new Aile Striker pack, and then we've got all the other weapons on there. This is the Perfect Strike as he should have been released. Then, since this is unfortunately a remold of the Build Strike, we also have two leftover junk parts. And those are these thrusters that would normally go in the shoulders of the Build Strike. But I guess we could use them for some kind of project. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. For 1,300 yen, this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, bring in the old kit here, which retails for 1,200 yen and literally has nothing to offer over the new one other than, well, it comes with that sticker sheet. And that is only for the remaster one. The old Aile Strike has nothing on the new one. Not even, you know, when we're comparing prices, you know, the old one might be a better deal. No. For 1,300 yen, we're getting a kit that has fantastic articulation, great accessories, and an even more awesome, the possibilities are absolutely endless when we take everything into consideration. You can buy a Perfect Strike and, you know, just throw the accessories on here and have endless playability. The potential for this kit is endless. You know, you can have so much fun with this guy, mixing and matching various striker packs on here, different combinations to go. Fantastic. So not only are you getting a great kit in and of itself, you know, when you just go out and buy a few add-ons for this guy, the fun only gets better. So, and you know, there are a few minor flaws about the kit. You know, the beam sabers that he can't really hold. It has these two extra pieces, but seriously, if we're gonna count those as bad things, that's some serious nitpicking we're doing. So overall, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this kit that isn't overshadowed by the sheer awesomeness of this model kit. And I think that I don't exaggerate when I say that this is one of the best articulated 144th scale high grades out there. Heck, those ankles, I think that those are the best ankles I've seen, period, on any model kit. Models grade, perfect grade, real grade. Those ankles, they're perfect. And I don't really like to use the word perfect, because, you know, there could always be something better. But no, seriously, for a model kit, I think these are the definitive ankles. You know, no, seriously, I don't think we're going to get any better, especially on a high grade. So this was really, I was expecting a nice kit. You know, we're once again yet another Strike Gundam. We've been getting a lot of them, so I think people might have been getting a bit tired of them. But seriously, looking at this kit, I couldn't have been happier that we got yet another Aile Strikeout. And now I just can't wait until we're gonna get the other striker packs, because, you know, looking at the back of this kit, add-on for a perfect strike, and yet here another add-on for the perfect strike. I wouldn't be surprised if we would get the launcher and the sword strike in some form, you know, either like the Master Grade, we're gonna get another strike with the striker packs, or maybe like the real grade that we're gonna get a Sky Grasper with the two packs separate, or that they're just gonna do it like the 1/100 high res and they're just gonna release them all individually, or maybe they're just gonna screw us over and do a Bandai online premium limited thing, as they seem to like to do. But let's just hope that we're gonna get those. And the one thing I gotta wonder is, are we gonna see other Gundam Seed models remastered under the All Gundam project? And I think, you know, people might not like this, but, you know, it's my opinion. Well, not really my opinion, it's more like a prediction I'm gonna make here, is I think they're gonna remaster the Freedom, because it's kinda, you know, it's as good as the old Aile Strike was, made around the same time. So, you know, maybe they're gonna upgrade Freedom as well, but we'll see about that. Then now just gotta do some size comparisons, and let's bring in that old Aile Strike again. Just look at the difference and then take the price difference into consideration, and seriously, no contest. And I'm so happy that my Aegis now finally has a good strike to put next to it. Well, other than, of course, the real grade here. And seriously, I gotta be honest, I totally prefer this new high grade over the real grade, even though it seems like this high grade is once again too big. And yes, I did the measurements. This guy is once again continuing the trend of model kits that are too big. The real grade is the correct size, and as you can see, the real grade is just a tiny bit smaller than the high grade. You know, once again, I don't know why they just can't get it right, but once again, they managed to screw up. According to the measurements, the Aile Strike would have to be, well, the head height of the strike should be somewhere around 18.7 meters. While the Aile Strike is, while the Strike Gundam is only 17.8 meters. So yeah, then here is next to the old Monster Grade, and I gotta say, these two really look nice next to each other. And for the first time, the high grade of the Aile Strike isn't completely overshadowed by the Monster Grade. And I would actually go as far as to say that this high grade might actually be better than the Monster Grade, because, you know, we got all that extra playability and the articulation is absolutely fantastic. Then when we're talking big, let's quickly bring out the old Zaku 3 here. And I said that the Aile Strike was slightly too big, but still, he's not quite as big as the Zaku 3 here. And finally, using that hole in his butt to connect him to an action base, here he is next to the remastered Master Grade. And that's all for this review of this fantastic high grade, and see you guys next time.